Welcome to the 40th episode of the Junkie Podcast. My name is Amber. I'm coming to you from my home in Texas, where I live with my 2 daughters, my husband, our 3 dogs, 8 chickens, 7. We have 7 chickens and a snake. What? Yes. It's really early in the morning. My family's still sleeping. I got up early so I could record this. It's been about 2 weeks since my last episode. We went on vacation last week, so I'm back, and I have a lot to show you guys. So I can be found on most social media as Yarn Junkie. On Instagram, I am _Yarn Junkie. On Ravelry, I am Yarn Junkie with the number 6. There is a Yarn Junkie podcast group. We just finished up the Knitmas in July cow. I had lots of people participated in that, so that was really exciting, and the group was buzzing with activity, which it doesn't really buzz that much, but it does occasionally. There's active posts and things, so if you want to check it out, I'd love to have you join the group. I'll go ahead and do the giveaways right off the bat, since that's the first thing. I co-hosted this knit-along with Michael of the Penguin Coffee Clatch podcast, one half of the Penguin Coffee Clatch podcast, and he is a knitwear designer, just all around awesome guy. So thanks, Michael, for co-hosting. I'm the world's worst host. I started a pair of socks, and then I decided I just didn't like the way the yarn was working up with the pattern. So these will be front, and they'll probably be vanilla socks eventually. So I am the world's worst co-host because I did not knit along, but I do have prizes, and I would like to show you guys what they are and tell you who won them. So first up, we have 2 sets of stitch markers by Knitty by Nature, and the first winner will get first dibs, and then the second winner will get what's left. But there's a snowflake one with a bell and some blue rings, and then there's a tree with mostly green and red, and then a red bow. So the first winner is, and I drew 2 winners from the chatter thread, and then 1 winner from the finished objects thread gets the yarn. I thought that was fair, since not everybody in the chatter finished their prizes or their projects. Without more rambling, I will let you know. Smiley Yogini Melody. I think that's you. I have it pulled up over here. I did this before, that way, you guys wouldn't have to wait. Yes, Melody from Texas, you win. So since you're the first one I drew, tell me which one you prefer, tree or snowflake. And the next winner was Kate Litton 06 and K Litton 06. Your name's Kay, and you're from North Carolina. So Kay, you get which one Melody does not pick, and I will get those shipped out. If you both can send me a message on Ravelry with your address, I would appreciate it. And then the grand prize winner, Andre Sue Knits, Andy, the amazing, talented Andy. She's the one that does all the sock blanks on Instagram. She sent me this skein of yarn for the giveaway, and it's a 75-25 superwash merino nylon. Isn't that beautiful? It's going to make an excellent shawl or pair of socks or something. And I've paired that with this stitch marker set from Melissa over at Knitty by Nature. can I just say again, thank you so much, Andy and Melissa, for donating a prize. It means so much to me to be able to have something to give to my viewers for participating. So y'all have done that. Y'all have, and if there's anybody else, I've never really asked because I don't want to seem like a beggar, but you get free advertisement, so it's not necessarily a bad thing for your shop. And if you're an Etsy seller, whether you sell yarn or project bags or stitch markers, and if you would like to donate a prize, get in touch with me. I'll be glad to send you my address, and I would love to talk about your shop on my podcast if you're down. If you're not, that's cool too. I don't mind. I really don't. But yeah, so you get the skein of yarn and the nutcracker. And the winner to this is, drumroll please, what was her name? Where did I write it? Oh, my bag was covering up. It's Woman in a Shoe. I was like, I know her name because I see her on everything. Woman in a Shoe. She is, what's her first name? Mel. And she lives in Australia. So I get to send this to you. Mel, get in touch with me. Send me your address. I'm so excited you won. Mel actually knit, I think it was 3 things, a hat, a matching shawl, and maybe it was gloves or socks or something for a gift for someone. That's incredible. Like, I don't know anyone that knit worthy in my life. Not that I would never knit for somebody, but I just don't know that many knit worthy people. Besides myself, of course. I kid. So I'm drinking coffee in my mug from a swap that I did. The You and Me swap. I was paired with an amazing lady named, I want to say her name's Trish, but I think that's wrong. Extravagant Creations on Instagram. Really sweet lady. I hope I have your name right. It's my Maryland mug, and it has a chip in it. If you watch the Legacy Knits podcast, Sue talks about one of her sons chips all their dishes, and so they've nicknamed him Chip. I'm the Chip in this house. Lucy's trying to encroach upon my space. Go lay down, Lucy. So thanks to all that participated in my cowl. That was really exciting, again, to do. I have a bunch to show you guys. So I hope you have your beverage. I hope you're strapped in and ready for the massive amount of stuff I have to show you. I have a finished object. I have 2 half-finished objects. So does that equal another finished object? Go. She's being very naughty. So what will I show you first? Oh my gosh, guys, look at this. So I finished my featherweight cardigan, and I am so super happy with it. So I've washed it and blocked it. I say blocked it. I laid it out on the mat and just sort of, smoothed it out. I didn't pin it. I didn't feel like a cardigan needed to be pinned out. But other things I will say, I knit this on a size 4, the body on a size 4, and then the ribbing I sized down to a 3. This is Madeline Tosh Twist Light in colorway Cactus Flower. I knit this size, I sized down my needle, so she asks you for a size 6, to use a size 6, and I used a size 4, so I sized up on the pattern. My bust is pretty on track with the small size, but I went ahead and knit the medium to compensate for my wide shoulders and the fact that I was sizing down the needle so much. It does tend to slip off this shoulder, which the Knit Night lady said that's just a Hannah Fettig hassle on her sweaters. Her shoulders aren't deep enough. That was one of the things that I was complaining about, or that they were complaining about as I was knitting it, and I was talking about it on previous episodes. Another thing that I'm not in love with, I did the Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off on the collar, and I just feel like it makes it too loosey-goosey, but I don't know what I would have done otherwise. Another problem that I personally have with Hannah FedEx patterns, I am a follow the recipe type of person. I don't look at a pattern and say, oh, how can I make this my own? I look at it and say, okay, I'm going to follow this to the letter because I want that finished object. And for her patterns, it's just like, okay, well, execute this. And she just expects you to know. Like, she just says bind off. It's not use this bind off or use these. Here's a list of bind offs that have worked well with this. You know what? It just, things like that. I found other patterns are much more detailed. That's a good way to say it. Hannah FedEx patterns, the ones that I've used so far, are just very basic. You just have your basic stitch count and your basic instructions, and then she hopes that you know what you're doing because she's not going to tell you. But I've lived in it. Literally, I have lived in this cardigan. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen pretty much every picture I've posted of myself. I have this cardigan on. I knew that was going to be the case. I am, like I've said before a million times, a very cold-natured person. So this is the perfect summer cardigan. It's very lightweight, so I can carry it. It folds up really small. I can just shove it in my bag and have a sweater for as soon as I walk into a restaurant and it's freezing. So I'm super happy with this finished object. I think I'll knit another featherweight, probably not for a while, but it's just so cozy, and I can see why other people have knit more than one. Definitely. It's just a basic, amazing fingering weight sweater. So, yarn I have left. I did cram it all into this bag from the Fawn Knits. I feel so bad because I feel like I owe Lara an apology. I say Laura or Laura, or her name's Lara. It's Lara. And I was watching other podcasters, Canadian podcasters mostly, say her name correctly, people that know her in life. Like the Grocery Girls met her, and Jenny from Lone Larch and Candace from Pin Feathers and Pearls all hang out with Lara from the Fawn Knits. Like I said, I've been butchering her name, but I had my featherweight in here, and I have all her little cards because I don't know why I keep these, but I do. And she sent a sticker. Just random, just completely random. But here's my leftover yarn, and I did start a toe with this, but I didn't really like it. So that's what I have left over. I used 3 skeins, so less this. 3 skeins of yarn, and that's all I have to say about that. Knit it on size 4, ribbing size 3. I did this whole sleeve not magic loop, but with the tiny 9-inch circ until I got to the cuff, and then I switched to DPNs, and I loved it. I alternated skeins. I totally didn't need to. I can feel a slight difference. It's a little tight through here to where the stitches were just pulled. And there's, it's all smooth on this side, so, oh well. But I did get a NASA pin. We went on vacation last week. We took the girls down to Houston. We went and visited the NASA museum, and then we also went to the beach. I thought that was perfect for my space bag. And I also got these. So I saw this. This is an acquisition, but it's in this bag, so I'm just going to show you guys right quick. There was a post on Facebook that was like, get a set of needles for $10. And I was like, okay, why not? I don't mind having extra needles. That way, in case I just want to take needles off a project, I have something to put them on. Or in the event of traveling, I have cheap needles to take that I don't care about. It just seemed like a good deal to get all of these needles for $10. So they're like from China or something, but I got them in a week. Really fast shipping, and the sizes say like 16, 7. I haven't used my needle gauge for these. I haven't even opened them. But there's 11 different sets, and each set has a little darning needle in it. And the cords are like, they seem like they're chow goo type cords, but the needles seem more like Addy needles than they do carbons or chow goos. But the needles are the same, and they do have that weird bend thing on the end, which I haven't knit with any needles like that. I don't know. I'll try them out and tell you guys what I think. But either way, I thought it would be good, like I said, just to have some needles to be able to put a project on the needles that I'm not using. Can't beat that for $10. I'm going to stop it right here, and then when I come back, I'll show you my whips. Okay, I'm back. I was going to show you my hose next, or my half objects. So I finished one of my socks. It's not my sock. Lucy, go. Lay down. Sorry, had to stop her from coming over here. I have my first pebble sock done. So this pattern is by Nina Phillip from her Beyond Vanilla pattern collection. I did a 64 stitch count. This yarn is Cascade Heritage Prints in colorway number 33. I'm doing an unofficial knit along with this colorway right now in the West 7th Wool Ravelry group, just because a lot of us at Knit Night have the same colorway. So Fish Lips Kiss Heel with Mad Tosh Pecan Hole as a contrast heel, and then Atrella Decided Blue Toes. While I was knitting these, she really liked the texture and the colors, and she asked that they be for her, so, which allowed me to knit a much shorter foot. Her foot's a lot smaller than mine, but it's not small. She's 10 and she wears a women's 6, so she's gonna have a big foot. But these fit her great. The heel is a little shallow, but I think it's because of the pattern. I know that the Fish Lips Kiss heel, I think you're supposed to add some rounds if you're doing a pattern. I don't know. I don't remember. But the next one, she wants me to do a blue heel in a brown toe. So I thought that was going to be fun. Just simple pair of socks. Simple pair of socks. And the blue yarn is this, some that I had in my stash. It's skein yarn. I can't remember the colorway. I think it's like Tundra. Top draw sock is what this is. It's got these flecks of green in it. It's really pretty. I'm going to knit Tim some socks with this. I was just borrowing some for the heels and toes. What else? My other half object. Lucy's moving. Since I won't let her come over here, she's decided to lay as close to me as she can. She would be a lap dog if she could, but she's 90 pounds. So she's laying against the chair that the tablet is balanced on, like you guys wanted to know that. So my next half object, living in my amazing Studio in the Green project bag, I was all boasting this bag up last podcast, but now that I've used it for 2 weeks, it is seriously one of my most favorite bags ever. I love the size of it. I love this super squared bottom because I feel like it just helps it stay open so you can work out of it more. I love the Notions pouch zipper that's built in, that's sewed in, because then it doesn't get stuck under your knitting or the zipper doesn't get caught in your knitting. It's just perfect. I love the fabric, metallic arrows, and feathers. I love this bag. I can't say one bad thing about it. So, next half object. I finished one jelly roll sock. So this pattern is by Mara Briner, the same person who did the Rose City Rollers. I think her name is Mara Briner. Rose jelly roll socks. So I used my leftovers from my exploration station. So this is Madeline Tosh Twist Light in colorway Edison Bulb, and it is glowing. It's way washed out, blown out because of the lighting. And then this colorway is Jinx Yarn in her Strong Sock in colorway Cancun. And here is my finished sock. Again, these are for Atrella. She loves these colors. She is so excited about it. It was a new construction to me. It's kind of like brioche. I don't want to say too much about the pattern because it is the paid-for pattern, but the way the heel worked was you're knitting and then you're knitting the same direction with both of the colors. And then there's this really cool slip stitch section. And she tells you to size up your needles through that so it's not so tight. And then I did, again, my Kitchener's Ugly on this one. But I did a contrasting toe to match the, isn't that cool? This construction is just like, it's a sock inside of another sock. I love this so much. It was so much fun to knit. And the next one, Atrella wants me to do blue on the inside and then yellow on the outside. So it'll be opposite. It's going to be awesome. Awesome set of socks. And she wants these to be ready for first day of school. So I've cast on my second sock just this morning. And I will try to get these knit before school starts. And I also, like I said, want to do Prudence a pair too, which hopefully I can get both pairs done before school starts, but that's probably fairly ambitious. So those are both my hose. Now we can move into my whips in my bee bag by This Handmade Life. And she actually has an Etsy now. Olivia, I don't think she has a card. Bear with me while I look up this information. Talks amongst yourselves. Handmaids by Olivia is her Etsy shop name. So if you're at all interested in an amazing embroidery bag like this. She also does applique bags, and I'm just blown away by her talent. And they're very, very reasonably priced. I think she charged me $30, $35 plus, including shipping. So that's a really nice price point for something that's it's so time consuming for her to do this, you know? So in this bag, in my bee bag, what do I have? I have my I Heart Bee socks. This is I believe it's a free pattern by Nessa Townley, or Vanessa Townley. She goes by Nessa. She's from the Kill to Craft podcast. Everyone test knit these. A lot of people are knitting them now. And I cast on for the cuff and knit the cuff and just sort of ignored them for a while. But it was time to get them back out. I had the mental space to knit cables, so she did say to knit the cuff a lot longer than I did. I did my cuff longer than I even would have normally, but I went ahead and stopped at 2 inches. I think she says knit 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 inches of cuff. I didn't need that much cuff. I think mine's about 2 inches and I was over it. So the I Heart Bees pattern is a cabled pattern that looks like a honeycomb. And I have my little honeycomb progress keeper. This actually, the progress keeper came in a kit from Miss Brown's Bags. Jody did a yarn bag kit that also had this little charm on it. So I thought it was perfect for this pattern. My husband thinks these look so cool, but he's like, why would you want to knit those? Because he's watching me, and already it sort of looks complicated because they're on DPNs. And if you've ever knit in public with DPNs, people think you're a wizard, basically. It's not any harder than magic loop. It's just, it looks difficult because you have all these needles sticking out every different direction. So you know how to do cables, and so every so often you have to take a stitch off, rest it on your cable needle, work the number of stitches, and then work the cable stitch. So my husband's watching me do that, and he's like, why? That looks like too many steps. Why would you want to knit those? And I'm like, because they're beautiful and it's fun. And I'm not bothered by the fiddliness of it. It's an 8-round repeat, and every 2 of those rounds is a cable. And then the rest is just knit. They're so easy, guys. The easiest pair of socks. So this is some deep, deep stash yarn that I had. It's Sweet Georgia Fibers in Tough Love Sock colorway Creme Brulee. And I thought it was the perfect thing for a honeycomb. I mean, you could just take a bite of it. That's what my husband said too. He's like, it looks good enough to eat. So that's that whip. And I've been working on those the last couple of days. That's all I've really wanted to knit. What else do I want to show you guys? While we're on the subject of socks, I made a horrible mistake. So, the amazing Jess of the Sweater Co., I totally butchered everything about her pattern and mixed up 2 people. So, Vera of the Wool Barn, not the Wool Barn, the Wool Club has the Tulsi sock pattern. Jess from the Sweater Co. has the arabesque sock pattern. Just so you guys know that I know the difference between the 2. I do. I was just very confused last time. I am currently hosting a giveaway. Jess is also the designer of the Fine and Dandy socks, and she was nice enough to gift me a pattern of her new design, the arabesque socks, as well as gift me a pattern to give to you guys. So I have created a prompt in the Ravelry thread, again, the Yarn Junkie Podcast group. I've created a arabesque pattern giveaway thread, and the prompt is, tell me your favorite music. I love listening to music. I don't know anybody that doesn't like music. I named a couple of things that I liked to listen to last time. I have a couple more written down. I love Björk. She's a Scandinavian singer, if you don't know who she is. She kind of does like techno music, genre-ish. And Apple Butter Express is another really uplifting band. Like, if I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to put that on and jam out. They're kind of folk singers, I want to say. I just really, really good music, good feel-good music. Another group that I like, or singer that I like, is Bruno Mars. That's another just uplifting. I don't like all his songs, but a lot of them are just really poppy and uplifting. So there's 3 more of my musical interests for you. This week we've done a lot of driving, so I've been listening to a lot of my music and thinking about that pattern giveaway and wanted to share a bit more with you guys. And I love what y'all are sharing in that thread and learning what music you listen to. I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so I have also just a little bit been working on this, and this is actually part of my acquisitions. I got this bag. Molly Klein Design posted this to her, I want to say she posted it to her Facebook, or not Facebook, her Etsy shop, and said it was the only one available, and I had to get it. Look at this awesome interior fabric. So it's got roosters and hens, and it's yellow and black. What's funny is when I got this bag, I realized obviously I have a thing for yellow and black chicken bags. So in here I have not really worked on this, so Don't know why I'm showing you, but it is my Talisman shawl. I started this just a couple of weeks ago, and I think I was about here last time, so literally just a few rows. But I did switch my needles on it. I was knitting this on carbons, and I switched to Chalgu. I really, really, really love Chalgu needles. I feel like they're my new favorites, and I'll probably get this set here pretty soon. I just want to knit on carbon or on Chalgus all the time. I really like the cords and the tips. That's the biggest reason why I switched these. To do this little star stitch, I think is what they call it in the pattern, you kind of need a sharper tip, tapered needle, so you can knit your stitches together or slip the number of stitches you're supposed to, if that makes any sense. So I switched my needles. I bought a new set and switched them. Got a new project bag. Not a lot to say. This is part of the Shawl Society knit-along that's going on, and she just released the third shawl you get 6, I think. You pay $20, and then for 6 months, you get 1 shawl every month. And so that's the first one, and then there's 2 more that I'll probably never get around to knitting. But the third one was just released, and I love it. It's gorgeous. I am going to stop it right here, and then I'll come right back with my endless acquisitions, because it's pretty embarrassing. As always, I have a million acquisitions. So I'll be right back. So I am back, and I know I said I was going to come back with acquisitions, but I forgot about another whip. In my bag by Awesome Granny, bags by Awesome Granny with my Heisenberg pin. So I follow and watch Disastrously Domestic, Jess from the Disastrously Domestic podcast. Say that 5 times fast. And she just posted a picture to Instagram where she's working on this cross stitch that says, "God bless this meth." And she was watching Breaking Bad. And I'm like, oh my gosh, can we please be besties? She's my unofficial knitting BFF. She lives in the Pacific Northwest, which just has a small piece of my heart. I used to live there when I was basically too young to remember, but I feel like it's left this lasting impression upon my soul, because where we currently live, we live in West-ish Texas, Central West Texas. So our trees are mesquite and cedar, and basically that's it. And they're 30 feet tall. Well, when we went to East Texas, we just went on vacation last week. We drove down to Houston, and then we also took the girls to the beach at Galveston. And when you're driving that way, you go through East Texas, where there's towering pine trees, like 100 feet tall. And I just thought of my time in Washington and how much I wanted to move to that area. And Tim and I talked about it, and I was like, Texas is great and all, but I want to live in other places. So the Pacific Northwest would be my first choice. I would move to Washington or Oregon in a heartbeat. Michelle and Leslie would be my neighbors from Naughty Knitwit. I would hang out with Jess from Disastrously Domestic all the time. And Warren and Prudence would be like best friends. So why am I rambling about that? Oh, because of this. All of that, the tree talk, because of this pin and Jess. So, hi internet friends. I think about y'all on the most ridiculous things. So in this bag, I have my Sacco Stripes, which is a pattern by Pam Allen. Sacco Stripes. And I'm knitting this out of Quince & Co. Sparrow, their fingering weight linen base. And I am through the stripe section on the back. This is the back piece. You knit the back, then knit the front, and then seam it together. So I am to the armhole decreases. I was where the taco is last time. Tacos. So sorry about that. If I was fancy, I could probably edit it out, but I'm not fancy, so you got to hear me sneeze. Did you tell me bless you? I don't bless people when they sneeze. I don't. I just look at them. Like, are you okay? No, I'm kidding. We totally say bless you down here, but I think it's a cultural thing. I don't think that it's everywhere, if that makes sense. I don't think everywhere people say bless you after you sneeze. So tell me, where you live, do people say bless you after you sneeze? I wonder how that got started or originated. I'm going to have to wiki that after I record this. Why people started blessing people after they sneezed. Don't bless me. I tease. So yeah, that's a lot of talk for not much progress. I still love this. It's still an easy knit. I really love the needles. I do want to talk about that. These are so lightweight and smooth, and I want to get what I want to do is get a bigger size. So this is a 2.5. So I'm thinking about getting like a 5 or a 6 and knitting on that. And if I love those as much as I do these, then getting the whole little kit of needles, the case. These are the wooden cubics. And I love them. And I really love them. They're light and soft, and I don't know, they just feel better in my hands than metal needles. All that talk, because since I've been a knitter, I'm like, wood needles are awful, and I love metal needles. And now, you guys, I'm a walking contradiction. I think I say that almost every episode. I just contradict myself constantly. So I was going to begin my arabesque socks with this yarn. We talked about it last time. But the pattern is a lot more, it's not a beginner's pattern. And I need more headspace. Just threw it on the ground. I need more headspace to be able to do. The toe is a completely new construction to me. And that's all I'll say about it, because it is a paid for pattern. But I really want to knit with this yarn, and I want to knit those socks. This is the Cat's Kettle, Arsenic, and Old Lace. I couldn't really show you guys last time, so I wanted to show y'all this time the colors. And this is the same colorway that Tracy was just showing this off on the Grocery Girls. Cat's amazing. So so acquisitions. Look at my notes, talk amongst yourselves. Okay. First, what did I get first? Too much stuff. Legacy Knits, Sue and Chelsea. I told y'all that Chelsea loves elephants like Prudence loves elephants. Prudence is my completely elephant-obsessed 5-year-old. And I'm getting ready to make her a sweater with that yarn. I caked up my yellow yarn to knit my vitamin D, but after my featherweight, I can't face another fingering weight sweater just yet. So the vitamin D is on the back burner, and I'm going to kick that up and knit a sport weight sweater. I'm thinking that's going to go much faster. So I needed a project bag for Prudence's sweater, right? Anything to justify a new project bag. This came from, so I was watching the Legacy Knits podcast, and they were talking about, Chelsea showed off a bag. Hers is different, like a different color print or something, but she showed off an elephant bag, and I was like, oh my gosh, Prudence, I have to have an elephant bag for Prudence's projects. So I went over to Yarn Seller Studio, where the Legacy Knits girls had a discount code. I can't remember what the discount code was now, but I'm sure that you can go to their Ravelry group and find it. And I ordered this bag. So it is a large size. It's got amazing elephants on it. I love it. And she also sent a little notions pouch. A mini, a candy, and a tea. How sweet is that? So thank you so much, Trish Turner, Yarn Seller Studio, for these little extras. So Prudence has a little project bag all ready to go for me to knit her sweater. And I'm going to knit her the elephant. I can't remember who it's by. I'm going to have to do some math because the pattern only goes up to a 2, I think, and she's almost 6. We'll see. We'll see what I can do. But I showed her and I have to knit it for her. It's just a simple sweater, but it's got this yoke with elephants marching on it. I must knit it for her. I originally saw it from Nicole of the Hugh Loco podcast. She had knit it and then I was enabled. So what order do I want it? Another project bag that I bought, Meredith of the Wool Gathering podcast. She is doing this read along with Steph of the Milkshed blog, and I'm doing crap at reading this book. It's a true crime novel, which usually is right up my alley, and I love books like that. But right now, where I am at mentally, it's really dark. And I just don't want to read this dark, depressing book full of facts. Like, it's chock full of facts, and I just don't have the headspace to read a book based on facts right now. I'm incredibly lazy. I will eventually finish this book, but probably not for their read along, which kind of depresses me because I have enjoyed reading what everyone has to say and enjoyed, the community of a read along. But she posted a bag to her Instagram, Meredith did, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I need that. And the bag designer or maker said, I can make you one. I was like, oh no, I really shouldn't. I said, what the heck? It feeds my happy. And if you were watching last week, or the last time I recorded, my doctor called. This is a complete tangent, so I ran out of medicine. I've mentioned that I started recently taking antidepressants and anxiety medicine, and I let myself run out like a dingbat. And I called my doctor to get a refill, but she was out of the office. And they couldn't refill my prescription based on my chart. I don't know why. It was a complete cluster. And then I went on vacation without medicine, and I felt like if you're on antidepressants and you suddenly stop taking them, it's basically the worst. It's worse than before you started taking them because you have something and then your body suddenly doesn't have it. So I've been dealing with the effects of just the ups and downs of not having my medication. And when she told me she could make a bag for me, I was like, you know what, it feeds my happy and whatever, I need this bag. That's my justification and excuse. That's pathetic, I know, but I don't care. I know that you guys understand because every time I talk about my struggles with depression or anything, I have a wealth of viewers that reach out and tell me how much they've struggled and how much they understand. So that is why I talk about it, and it is never easy, but it does get easier with community, It's nice to know that people out there care. So, Freckled Whimsy, amazing lady that she is, said that she'd make me this bag, set me up a custom listing, and I had the bag very quickly. And I've had my eye on this for a while. She has put a couple of these in her shop with different fabrics and different prints. But guys, it's green. Sheep. I needed it in my life. I love these sheep so much. So there's her tag. It's got dots on the inside. This really nice handle. I love these handles that these people put on their bags. And then there's her. Carrie Winters. Freckled Whimsy. So as soon as I got this, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to knit my Babel hat. I I bought yarn last year when everyone was obsessed with knitting the Babble hat, and I haven't knit it. It's just sitting in my stash, but now that I have this bag, it is the perfect Babble hat, right? Babble hat bag. I think so too. That's not all, guys. I have a whole stack full of project bags because apparently that's what I've bought in the past month. Nothing but project bags. Another purchase that I've made because I'm insane. Jody, Tracy, Candace, Lara all have posted about I Heart You and buying project bags from her. So I had to as well. Because I'm a follower, you guys, and if Lara would jump off a bridge, I would too. She just said that recently about Candace. I have something else that I totally copied off Lara too, because I'm obsessed. Look at this bottom. It's patchwork. Isn't this bag cute? I love these fabrics. Just so sweet. And then here's her I Heart You. And I went ahead and put yarn in here. I bought a pattern because apparently I keep buying shawl patterns and caking up yarn for shawls. Case in point, in this bag right here is the yarn for my doodler caked up. Behind me in another project bag, I have yarn for my loop by Casa Pinka caked up. Hibernating, I have another shawl that I'm not working on. Then there's my Talisman that I'm not working on. I'm a little shawl crazy, and then I don't work on shawls. So I put yarn in here. I put a set of needles in here. The lady that owns the yarn shop, West 7th Wool, gave me these. She doesn't sell Hiya sharps in her shop, but they sent her some to test out. She sells some other notions and stuff by Hiya. So they gave her some needles to test out, and she let me borrow a pair so I could try them because I haven't tried Hiya sharps yet. So I put those in here, put my yarn in here, and bought a pattern, the Wildesmeer by Kristen of the Wool and Vine fame. So it's an eyelet shawl pattern with a lace border. I really love, this. When pattern designers, let me find some pages that don't have information on them, put stuff like this on their patterns. Like little decorative printouts. It's the little things, but that little thing just makes me smile when I'm looking at the pattern. I'm like, oh, it's so cute. Yeah, good job, Kristen. Good job. So yeah, that's all in here, ready to be something, ready for me to knit with it. It's gonna stay there. That's not all, you guys. Let me look. Okay, so I told you if Lara jumped off a bridge, I would too. She posted, I had this favorited for a bit, and then she posted it that she had bought the same sock cube. And this is from Nomadic Yarns. And as soon as she showed it, I was like, okay, twist my arm. I went and bought it. Because I have to have everything or be her twin. I don't know. It's lame. I'm a stalker at this point, basically. But I love, this little sock cube is just so hilarious to me. And I also bought my first Nomadic Yarns. Got a Deathly Hollows stitch marker, and this colorway is Lupin. And I got the Brit Sock base, which is 80% superwash BFL and 20% nylon, 400 yards. Aren't these going to make the most awesome socks? Lupin's one of my favorite characters. So it's got some rusty gold and black, or like a navy, a super, super dark navy. And then like a gunmetal gray and a brownish gray. I don't know, I'm terrible at describing colors. It's gray and brown and rusty orange. There you go. It's cute. I will cast on a pair of socks very soon. I almost did a cast on for Harry Potter's birthday, but I didn't. So we'll set that there because it's so cute. So cute. That's not all. So another bag that I got from Handmaids by Olivia is this applique bag. She posted a picture that she was doing this, and I was like, just take my money. Just take it. I need a sock bag. Look how cute this is. So it's going to kind of wash it out, but look at those little fruits in the trees. There's a little bird on the line, little mushrooms down here. Beautiful linen fabric. I am blown away, completely blown away, and I love this bag. So I did start another pair of Tulsi socks using this Hedgehog Fibers yarn with my Madeline Tosh leftovers from my featherweight as a heel and toes, but I felt like it was too similar. There wasn't enough contrast for my contrast toe. So I was looking at yarn at knit night the other night, trying to find something that would work. And I couldn't really find anything in this sock section. So I found this, and it's not sock yarn. It is Blue Sky Alpacas. I think it's sport weight. And it's 50% silk, 50% alpaca. And I know a lot of people have knit socks using silk instead of nylon, stating that, silk is like the natural nylon. And a lot of people who don't use synthetic fibers will use silk in their socks. I am kind of worried about the alpaca and how it will play. But they're going to be socks for me. I'm going to hand wash them. It's not going to be a big deal. And I feel like the yarns are very similar in diameter. This one, the chartreuse, or this greenish, is a smidge thicker. I mean, it's double plied. They're both plied, but it is a smidge thicker. But I think it'll be fine. I'll just have some cushy heels and toes, right? Right. It matched really well, though. So there we go. Look at that. I had to. And I hope it works out. I'm really excited to knit these. I really love the pattern. And it's a lot of fun to knit. Like I got through like 4 pattern repeats on the pink pair before I decided I didn't like the heels and ripped them out, or toes and ripped them out. So that was another acquisition project bag. And the last, or I can show you this, I also got, when I got the yarn, my yarn shop started carrying these coloring books that are all yarn. Like, look at this lady knitting in her garden. And then there's a mermaid knitting. A yarny hot air balloon. So Tim just recently got a coloring book. We went to Walmart to get book lights for our car. My daughter, my 10-year-old, reads a lot, and I'll knit in the car. And at night, my husband is bothered by the overhead lights, but he would rather us be alert than fall asleep in the car. So he thought that getting book lights would be a good happy medium. While we were getting book lights, he found the section on coloring books. And there was a couple of Harry Potter ones and stuff. And he was like, oh, let's get the girls some of these. And I said, they already have some. And he said, well, maybe I'll get a coloring book so I can color with them. And I was like, that's a great idea. I have one. And you should totally get one and color with them. We do play a lot of board games with them. We ride bikes with them. But he doesn't really have anything that's just like downtime. That's not overly engaging, and when he works all day, I don't blame him for just wanting to sit down and chill out. So he got a coloring book, and they've sat down and colored, and it was so cute. I should have posted a picture, but I didn't. I will next time. And so I went ahead and picked up this one. Even though I have other coloring books, I don't have a yarn one, and I needed it. And I'm excited about my family sitting down and coloring. So I also went ahead and ordered some more of these hand balms by Tuft Woolen. I have a couple of different scents. I really love these hand balms, are the bomb, like I said last time. I know that a lot of us have super dry hands due to knitting all the time. It zaps moisture out of your hands. And I don't like a lot of lotions because they have too much residue, but these don't leave residue. I feel like I can just rub it in, my skin absorbs it, and I'm not worried about getting it on my yarn or any of that. So Martha, I ordered 3 of them. One of them's already in a project bag. But she apologized for the shipping taking so long and then sent me a sheep soap as a thank you for my order. And my order did not take that long, so it's just a bonus to be able to look at this sheep soap. Isn't that cute? And then there's her card. So, the last thing I ordered, what's the last thing? Kat's Kettle posted to her Instagram. I am not always able to make her shop updates because they're on Saturday, which I'm at work on Saturdays. I'm actually getting ready to go into work here in a little bit. Today's Saturday, by the way. I'm not always able to catch her shop updates, but I got off of work on Saturday, I think it was on Brave, and she had posted this skein of yarn to her Instagram. And I was like, oh my God. So I went to her Etsy and it was still available. Couldn't believe it. It was a one of a kind skein of yarn. There were 2 available, and I'm once I got it, I was kind of kicking myself for not buying the other one. It is a little bit washed out by my amazing light that I'm getting. Ooh, like I said, we've got windows, like skylight windows up there, so the sun is just coming in. But this dark, beautiful purples, and like I said, it's just a one of a kind colorway, so it doesn't have a name other than beautiful. I have no idea what it's going to be. I'm thinking maybe a really cool pair of fingerless mitts, maybe cabled mitts, maybe lace mitts. If you have a really awesome, breathtaking pair of mitts that will do this yarn justice, send me a message on Ravelry with the pattern. I'd love to check it out. But I'm really a cold-natured person, and so having fingerless mitts is good. So there's her beautiful label. I love that she did a little washi tape right there. Kat's Kettle. And I also had to get Acid Pops. I've been wanting this colorway since she came out with it, and it's going to be totally washed out in my current lighting situation, but it's insanely neon. It's got some neon greens and yellows and pinks and flashes of purple. I love it. This is going to be a pair of socks for me. It's going to be so much fun. And it is, both of these are 75 superwash merino, 25 nylon, 438 yards. Isn't it beautiful? And that's what I ordered from Kat, and her and I have been in talks about her making a project bag for me. And then when I got the package, I felt like there was something else in it. She sent me the project bag. I would have bought it. I would have been happy to buy it, but she just sent me it because she's amazing and wanted to send it to me. So thank you so much. And here it is. It is so amazing. So it is a sweater size, and I have 6 skeins 6 cakes of yarn already in here. I went ahead and put my vitamin D yarn in here because I was going to go ahead and cast on. But I just, like I said, I can't face another fingering weight sweater just yet. It has paisley interior fabric with a pocket, and it's Zelda. Stained glass Zelda. I love it. I showed this to my husband, and he was like, I don't care about your yarn stuff, but that's really cool. I really love this satin handle. It's just such a cool detail. And then her logo, dark purple bottom. Love this tab to snap stuff to. Kat, this bag is incredible. And she does a signature neon green zipper. I've had one of her bags in the past, but I actually gave it away to another knitting friend. And it had this same neon zipper. So that's just fun that she wanted to keep that. But thank you so much, Kat. This seriously touched me, and I love it. And Zelda is so super cool. Like, there's archery Zelda. There's a little bow and arrow. He is so cool. So that technically is the last thing that I got, but I took the girls' school supply shopping this past week, and I found this little guy, and I thought, what a cool needle holder. And so I got him. And one more thing that I want to talk about, but I'm going to stop it right here and grab some more coffee. So I'll be right back. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about was the sweep series. So Jacqueline from the Brooklyn Knit Folk podcast is currently hosting a read-along for this series. And I want to say maybe Kat from Kat's Kettle is co-hosting the read-along, but maybe she's just reading along. They just did a joint podcast together, so I'm not sure on my facts on that. But Jacqueline suggested that you buy this series, and I checked the library first, then checked a couple of my local bookstores, like Half Price Books, Barnes & Noble, and then I bought these on Amazon. The whole series cost $30, I think, for a paperback. There are 5 books, 5 volumes, and there's 3 books in each volume. So I'm on to the 3rd book. I'm on chapter 13 of the 3rd book on the 1st volume. And it's really good. I mean, it's a young adult series. It's about a high school girl who finds out she's a witch. So if you're not into young adult, then this might not be the series for you. I relate it to, your favorite guilty pleasure television show. You don't watch, TV to just have a wealth of knowledge. This isn't going to make you smart, but it is very, very entertaining. And it has not a lot, but there's a couple of words that I looked up. I didn't know what they meant. Had to look them up. So there's some knowledge to be gleaned in these pages, for me at least. And I don't know why I'm rambling about it. It's good. It's a good book. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to do any spoilers. But I'm enjoying it. I like reading along. I had to read along because I didn't want to feel left out. As soon as Jacqueline started talking about it, her enthusiasm behind the series just sold me, basically, and I went out and bought it. Another book that I bought that I haven't got yet from the Grocery Girls, their recommendation was for The Girls. The Grocery Girls recommended The Girls by Emma Klein, and I ordered that on Amazon. It should be here in a couple of days. But the sweep series, again, amazing. If you are into the witchy young adult type of genre, then you should definitely check it out. And read along with us. It's really good. Is that all I have to say? I guess I can talk a little bit about our vacation. So we went down to Houston, like I said. We live in northwestish Texas. So Houston is about a 4-hour drive, maybe a little bit more. So we went down to Houston, stayed in a hotel. We went to NASA, the museum. It was really rainy and thundering, so we didn't get to do the whole NASA tour, which was kind of a bummer. It was actually a little bit more underwhelming than I expected it to be. I expected NASA to be more awesome than it was. The girls had a blast, so they thought it was awesome. I expected more, and my husband was like, well, if we would have been able to do the tram and gone to the launch pad, it would have been better, but since it was raining, we didn't get to do those things. We went and ate at the aquarium in Houston. It's this huge restaurant. I'll post at the very beginning in my opening credits, I'll do a video of the aquarium. It was gorgeous. The girls really liked eating there. Then we went down to Galveston. We were going to go to South Padre. We were going to go camping in South Padre. But then at the last minute, my husband decided while we were in Houston that he didn't really want to drive 5 more hours down to South Padre, that he would rather just go over 30 minutes to Galveston. So that's what we ended up doing. We went to Galveston. When I was a kid, I went there a couple of times on vacation, and I remember it being like, in some parts, really run down and just not very nice looking. They've really, really updated Galveston. I mean, a lot of areas are super nice. There's, the seawall has tons of restaurants and just attractions to go and do. Tim took the girls surfing and boogie boarding. Prudence and I collected seashells on the beach. The girls and I are going to do Jacqueline did a Cozy Memories stick. I don't know if you've watched her podcast for a while, but she did like shells hanging from a stick and called it her Cozy Memory stick. So the girls and I collected shells, and we planned to do like a little wind chime with some of the shells. What else did we do? We went to the beach. We went to the Texas battleship. There's a ship that you can just walk around and check out. It was really neat, and Tim's dad was in the Navy, and so he just really enjoys doing stuff like that. And I do too, as a history nerd. I mean, it was cool to go on a ship and check it out. What else did we do? We ate a lot of food. I was pretty sick the whole week. I have a unknown stomach disorder. I've been to the doctor numerous times about it. I've talked about it a little bit, but I don't like to bum you guys out. And so I try to watch what I eat really closely so I don't have issues, but sometimes something will have a hidden ingredient, or it'll just surprise me where I won't have an issue, and then the next time I eat it, I have an issue. So I was pretty sick most of the vacation, which was lame. And then again, I didn't have my antidepressant, so I was kind of feeling not really myself, I'll say. We went ziplining, we did a ropes course. Atrella, my 10-year-old's terrified of heights. So we were trying to do some different activities to kind of help her work through her fears. So she loved ziplining. She did not like the ropes course, which I didn't like the ropes course either, but my husband loved it. He was prancing around like a fairy up there. Like, he's very agile for a bigger guy. I'm going to put my foot out so Lucy doesn't come over here. What else? We went on a helicopter ride on the beach. So my husband has been on a helicopter a couple of times in his life, but I never have, and neither have the girls. So he found a helicopter company to take us on a little helicopter ride over the beach. And he didn't go, which was the only bummer. The helicopter was a 4-seater, so it's 2 girls, me, and then the pilot. There's no room for my husband. So, but he said that he had been plenty, and that it was enough to be able to send us and watch us have a good time. And I did take a video of that, and I'll try to tack on some of that at the end. So you can see, because that was the last day, and that was just really cool. We did not stop at any yarn shops. I did have one that I wanted to stop at in Houston, but we just ran out of time, so no souvenir yarn like I needed it, because of all the acquisitions that I got back. When I came home, my mail was like insane. As you just saw, all the project bag madness. And that's all. That's all. We came home. We came home last Friday. I had to work Saturday and Sunday. Cleaned house Monday. Sunday we had a party to go to. So my 10-year-old had a little birthday party to go to, a swim party. And then Prudence ended up with pink eye. Tuesday, she woke up, had to take her to the pediatrician. She had pink eye in both eyes. And I'm almost certain she got pink eye at that party because she was fine up until that point. You know, it's like me to blame my kid's diseases on some other kid that she came into contact with. So we went to that party. I've gotten 3 flat tires in the past 2 weeks. Right before we went on vacation, I was coming home from work and went through a pothole. And I'm used to driving a big Jeep. That's what my car was up until 3 months ago. Now I am in this low-profile hybrid car. And I'm driving on this back road between my work and house, and I hit a pothole and sliced a hole in 2 tires because I'm driving the car like it's a go-kart instead of slowly and carefully over these monstrous potholes. My husband was less than pleased. He's like, really? Really? 2 flats? And then on the way to the birthday party that we went to Sunday, so the flats happened on the driver's side. Then on the way to the birthday party, the back passenger tire blows apart. Luckily, my husband was driving. Had I been driving, I fear I probably would have wrecked the car because it just literally, like, he lost control of the car for a second and it was scary, and then he pulled over and changed it and it was fine. So I've had 3 flat tires in the past 2 weeks on my poor car. It's fine now, though. The tires are fixed. And that's it. That's all the adventuring that's taken place. Definitely. Been riding my bike. It's been a lot of fun. And Atrella finally learned to ride a bike. So she's 10 years old, and she has never had any interest in learning to ride a bike. And I have tried to show her numerous times, but it's hard. It's hard for me to teach. It just is. I get very frustrated, and I'm like, just pedal! Why aren't you pedaling? So she finally learned, and she loves it now. She hated it, and now she loves it. So we're a bike riding family, and it's great exercise. And that's it. I'm totally rambling. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you've been really productive in your crafting. I would love to see what you've been working on. Come chat with me in the group. Congrats to the winners for the knit-along. Please get in touch with me. I don't want to ear burn you just yet. I want to give you a chance to watch to see that you won. I just think it's more fun that way. I'll give it a week, and if I still haven't heard from you, I will get in touch with you. That's all, y'all. I really enjoyed sitting down and chatting with y'all. I hope to see y'all next time. Bye.